Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another loadout race here in the hosting league. I'm your gamer host, and I've got four really good racers here that are going to be competing against each other in a commando, roll, and grenade loadout. So that's going to be pretty interesting here as our racers here are getting started. We have, again, four really good racers, all that come from different levels of skill, different amounts of practice, but they're here to show that they're the best, that they're the top, despite the fact that some of them may have not quite gotten a win in week one. In the bottom right here, we have Zinc, someone who I don't even think that number right currently ranked 5th out of 28 racers. After week one, just didn't have as strong of a win as some of the others, despite getting in first place. And he's looking to prove that he's better than that he's better than all the racers here, and he's going to try to increase that win streak to 2. Oh god. To his left here, we have LiamABean. Let me get the full name in there. In the green. Just found a war banner, but is really low on health. No blood shrine or anything. Just took a lot of hits early on there. We'll see what he can do. I believe he got in 3rd place last loadout, or last race in week 1. Was able to finish a couple loadouts, and we'll carry that with him here into week 2. Itkens, otherwise known as just Kens. I was told to that Kens was fine, so Itkens is now Kens. I apologize for week 1 on mispronouncing the whole time. Anyway, we have Kens there up in the top right with the war banner with the Gorax Opus. They just found a jade elephant up in the top corner there of the map, but decided that Opus is going to do a little bit more, and when you're playing a commando loadout like this, fire rate is really, really good. Getting that high attack speed, you're able to really build up things such as bleed, proc chains. We'll see both of those in this loadout here. So definitely a good equipment to have. At least in early, mid game, maybe late game, if you find some form of pillar skip, you might want to go for that instead, or maybe you get like a burst option and have some crowbars or bands or something of the sort. And then we've got DeKlowski. Now, DeKlowski and Kens, they both are racers who placed in 2nd week 1. They didn't quite win, but they got pretty close. Had a couple close loadouts, but just when it mattered most, when things were really, really, really on top of each other, just did a little bit worse than the people that got in first. And I mean, they're going up against really tough competition. Both of these racers as well haven't really competed in a league up until now. So we'll see if one of the two of them today can take down Zinc. Could be something we could see. I think if there's any people who aren't a part of the Risk of Resources Racing League, right, some of the newer faces that we see here in the hosting league, I think these two are two very capable racers that have what it takes to take someone down as such. But it's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a lot of quick thinking to get it done. Okay, here's something interesting. I want to take a look at Liam, who has 2 mending beetles. Look how much health that Vagrant's getting. Right, so he's just struggling to kill these stupid beetles. Look at that. Look at the health bar. It's 30 per tick. You gotta finish off those beetles. Yeah, get them. Get the other one. But Liam, something happens here, and Liam is going to end up in a sort of cope situation on stage 1. I've never really seen stage 1 cope in a loadout race. I've seen stage 1 cope where it takes, like, I don't know, a couple extra minutes. Maybe there's a +5 in there, but we're gonna see some. Just keep an eye out on the bottom left corner of the screen here. as the other 3 racers are going to move on, having done the TP, okay, let's see, Chant Shrine is an elixir and a firework. Okay, but 2 white items, that's good. For 3 hits, you get 2 whites. They're going to want all the white items they can get, because this loadout race is going to get very, very, very printy. And Zinc is the first one to make it to stage 2. Real time is only like 2 seconds ahead of everyone else. So everyone, all 4 racers here are very much where you see them is where they're at, both in real time and in race time. Right, they're all right around that 5 minute 30 second. There's no one who like waited an extra 30 seconds to start or anything like that. Very much all on top of it. And oh, Zink tried to get the band or pot roll real quick. Here, take a look at this. It's supposed to be a highlight, and I'm not really doing much. All right, take a look at Zink. Sees a pot, knows that there's a button over there. He's like, okay, well, I at least want to give it a quick attempt. So he's gonna try and roll this pot, but it accidentally steps on it and it falls into the abyss. And if you want to roll any other pots over there, it's gonna take you quite a few minutes. So Zink, having given up that pot, we're gonna see Ken's actually have the same thing happen here. Is gonna try and save the pot. Took a different direction, didn't go into the pit, which honestly would have been better had it gone down, because this is just gonna be time wasted. And Ken's realizes that, no, actually wants it to still be saved. Thought it was still possible, but honestly kind of lucky for her. DeKlowski also trying just right away, right? These racers, they see that there's no enemies, and they're thinking, all right, I'll give it one attempt. I'm going to try and get this pot on this button, and if it doesn't go, oh well. It's not too big of a loss on Commando, unless they find something like a Preon accumulator, or maybe like a Royal Capacitor. Bands aren't really all that great on Commando if you're trying to go fast or whatnot. I mean, bands are nice, but you really need a lot to go with it. Just grenades with bands is helpful, right? You can do some good damage for a short period of time, but it's hard and janky and not my most optimal choice. Oh wow, you know what I just realized? Look how many drones Zink has. I mean, I guess Zink really likes drones. His own profile picture is a gunner drone. He's got 5 of them, and he got them from farming pennies on stage 1 during the TP event. He had purchased a Shrine of the Woods to give himself healing. Right, there were no other healing items, and we're seeing Liam here, who's still just struggling on stage 1. Right, still in that stage 1 cope. All the enemies are maxed out. Look at that, just parade of beetles and Lemurians that he's running away from as his vagrant's still alive. No healing, but Zink during the TP was just using the Shrine of the Woods, was using the pennies with that, got a ton of money, and was able to purchase 5 drones that were right on TP. And there goes Liam, finally done with the vagrant anyway. Still has to deal with the horde of enemies that's going to be approaching him. And okay, Zink has 2 pennies now. Lost is Dune Striders, and something that we missed. Both DeKlowski and Itkins, or here I go again. DeKlowski and Kens, they have 4 crit apiece. Ooh, and there's a needle tick. Okay. Yeah, both of them have really good crit, which it's not bad. You want a little bit more of a proc chain if you're going for a crit build. If you're going to go for a bleed build, which we might see a little bit of that down the line. If you had a little bit of a bleed build, crit not as important, right? Because you can't crit your bleed. You can't crit your needle tick. I don't think you can crit needle tick. If you could, that would be really good. But yeah, all the racers here are going to see the crit, going to think, ooh, maybe get some proc chain. Zink loses a sticky bomb, doesn't like that. wants to hold on to the other one and just decides, oh, at least I kept my speed. It's time to move on to stage 3. And he will be off towards Rally Point Delta. Rally Point Delta. Now, Zinc is immediately going to use the Greg's Opus. It's probably thinking about Prayon Accumulator. But then sees a Bleed Printer. And immediately the thought of Prayon leaves his mind. Bleed Printer. Oop, wrong person. There he is. Next to a Scrapper, there's a Bleed Printer, and there's also an Attack Speed Printer, right? And you have Needle Tick. Here's something really, really good about Needle Tick. Right, as Zinc gives up Fireworks, gives up the crit even. Right, Zinc isn't even thinking about Proc Chain anymore. He's just thinking all in Needle Tick. Want to keep the movement speed, though. We'll see, he might even give up the pennies, I'm not sure. I think the pennies are something you might want to keep. So you can get more money, so you can get more white items, and maybe get some attack speed during the stage. And that's what Zinc's thinking. Me, I'm a really, just an incredibly impatient player, and if I see 2 white scrap that could turn into something good, I would probably do it. And that's just what makes Zinc so good. Makes him different from us. At least from me. I'm not that good of a racer, to be fair. Okay, sees the attack and just opts to go all in. Oh, here we go. Adaptive Chest. Takes a second item, which is a Mocha. Alright. Zinc is done with that area. Got a Mocha, 8 Needle Tick, and scrapped so that he could keep speed. It's a really, really interesting spawn point on stage 3, right? Wasn't thinking about Prayon, or at least was originally until he found that. The very second that Bleed Printer was there, he knew. We're about to see DeKlowski do something very similar. Let's see how he handles the start of stage 3. Immediately sees the Soldier Syringe. Keep in mind, he was not thinking about Prayon being at 1120, so just runs in this route instead. Ken's as well sees the Bleed Printer. So we see everybody except for Liam, who hasn't gotten to stage 3 yet, right? It's pretty free. It's pretty obvious that printer's there. DeKlowski, however, well, he goes for some initial scrap, is opting for... Does he... Oh, no, it's a Soldier Syringe printer that they see. They don't know about the bleed yet. It's going to be... Oh, it's right in DeKlowski's vision. He's going to see it right now. There it is. He's like, oh, that's not good. Proc Chain's cool, no, it's cute. Soldier Syringe is cute. But, yeah, there he goes. He gets rid of the pennies. Zinc might, while Zinc kept them. Right, he's already at $600. You can farm imp shots, right? Getting the bleed, farming the bleed. You have 3 healing drones, so taking a few hits but getting some value. Purposely farming with a bleed. There he goes. Molten Perforator is the boss item, by the way. So either route that the racers take is going to result in a lot of damage, whether they choose to keep the crit and go for some attack speed and try and go for a bit of a proc chain. That could work out well. But also what could work out well is just going all in on that Needle Tick. Because a Needle Tick, and it's something that I really haven't thought much about. Okay, I play Commando, and a lot of times people say, well, in Commando you don't want Needle Tick because you can't really build up the bleed as much. Well, the thing about Needle Tick on Commando is that you get to hold on to it. You don't have to risk losing your DPS, risk losing your bleed if you find like a speed printer or something. If you find another good printer, you could just go into it. And at 7 Needle Tick, oh, it's staying for DeKlowski. Ken's at 4 Needle Tick. Ken's going for the Adaptive Chest. See what they pull. Going through, not going to select anything. Okay. Oh, there's a bleed at the end. Nice. Very nice. And, well, let's see. Okay. Ken's gets an opal. That's good. Everyone's going to have an opal. Everyone's going to have the option to have crit. Take a look at Liam. What is Liam doing? Well, Liam saw a crit printer, figured, hey, I got 7 items, I want 7 crit. 70% more damage, it's okay. Maybe if your items weren't the best, obviously I think he lost some mobility there. So not the most optimal of options. He's also going to learn about the bleed down the line. So I'm curious, I forget actually if Liam opts for the bleed or not. Zig, meanwhile, already done with stage 3, right? Has 8 needle tick, has the molten perforator, found a plasma shrimp. That cradle that's right next to TP, that's plasma shrimp. So both options are going to be good. And uh-oh, what happened? What happened? Oh, right, this happened. Take a look at Liam. Speaking of Liam, observe with the 7 crit, with a sticky bomb. Gorak's Opus wears off, and it's those stupid mending enemies. And they can just keep healing every boss that he encounters. No! 3 mending Lemurians? Look how much health he's gaining back. That boss is gaining 100 health a second. More than that. Oh my god. 50 per tick. And no more mending beetles spawn after that, and he's getting so many hits. Has to hide on the rock. And I think, yeah. The mending Lemurian just finishes him off. It is not a good day for Liam when there are mending enemies about. Oh man, you don't want a +5 again either. A healing drawn, your only source of healing. At least, oh man, with so many enemies that were mending, it would have at least been nice to maybe heal a little bit off them. Yeah, taking some hits again. Down to 100 health. DeKlowski keeping up pace with Zinc here. Take a look at this, both on stage 4. Oh my god. Liam is down to 43 health. Still has half a boss to kill. Oh jeez. 1 Beetle Guard Sunder, 1 Oil Orb, and that's gonna do it. Take a look at this one again here for Liam. Really struggling on health. Really trying to just pull through. Wasn't able to get any healing from any of those mendings when they spawned in. Goes in a straight line for a little bit. Takes a look to his left to try and take care of some beetles. And, well, if you're going to go in a straight line, you're going to die. Hopefully that's the end of it. I forget how many times he dies in stage 2. Ken's gets a plasma shrimp. Look at that proc chain. Ken's has a mixed build, a very mixed build. Of both proc chain and bleed. Same with DeKlowski, right? They both have 4 crit. They both have a decent amount of movement speed on top, but there's the Gorak's Opus for 70% increased attack speed. DeKlowski just found a ukulele on top of the molten perforator, on top of the plasma shrimp, on top of the 4 crit. There's a fuel cell. Oh man. That's a really good proc chain. Even without the needle tick, I would call this a really good run. I would call this a great run for Commando speedrunning. Like, wow, that is nice. Zig, meanwhile, finishing off the Void Seed. Taking a lot of Void damage there. Okay, runs out for the quick tick. And is there one Void enemy halfway across the map? Oh no. I think there's like a Void-touched hermit crab at the top of the map or something. Ran all the way over here to Lemurian. Hello, sir. How do you do? Just want to get done with my Void Seed. Would appreciate it if you would die. Oh, man. Ken's on the battle right now, charging TP, killing the Imp Overlord. DeKlowski already killed the Overlord in a matter of moments. With near identical builds, DeKlowski just having the ukulele advantage. We'll see if Zinc gets the uke. Could be good. Boom, there we go. There's the Corona Bobble for Kens. Really, the Void item was Tentabobble. So for all of that hassle, for all of that work that Zinc just had to put through, wasted like a solid minute, minute and a half. KlowSki's pretty much all caught up. And Zinc had like a 2-minute advantage on this stage. Ooh, Zinc gets the uke though. But they're very much neck and neck again. KlowSki and Zinc. Look at that. Both going right for the TP at the same second there. And as we were saying at the beginning of the race, between these two racers, between these three even, Ken's really keeping up as well. I think if there's going to be any racer that's going to compete against Zinc, as Zinc just takes a vent and immediately activates a TP, Zinc is confident. Zinc is so confident that he can take this on. It's not going to bother killing pre-spawns, and look at the damage. There's a reason why he just went immediately for the TP. Design Construct, you saw the Needle Tick damage right there. Boom. You saw the Proc Chain. You saw the Plasma Shrimp. You saw the Molten Perforator. The Ukulele procking off the little Shungites, the little Alpha Constructs. Massive, massive, massive damage. And uh-oh. Kens, don't want to get Needle Ticked like that. That's not ideal. Ooh. Alright, Kens is going to make it out alive. Did not get the Ukulele, by the way. So AoE damage, not as good. Proc Chain, not as good. Every additional Proc Chain item that you get, the more multiplicative things are. And while all of these racers, while KlowSki, while Kens, while Zinc, are all on stage 5, right? Look at these. Boom. Really close, really heated competition. We go all the way behind. We take a look over at Liam. How's he doing? Well, if there's one thing that those other racers didn't do, is they did not successfully get that pot next to spawn onto the button. But Liam did. There you go. Big W. That's a Liam dub. We'll have to go and press the other button now manually and then run all the way back over. At least use your Borax Opus for the 70% speed. It's the least you can do. Oh, there's a Shuriken printer. Do you go for Shuriken printer? I don't think you do. There's no bans. It's going to take time to print. And you've already got the bleed proc chain. I mean, Shurikens with the Molten Perforator could be cool. How much time would it take? You could take like 30 seconds. Ben's Raincoat, by the way, in case you missed it. Lockbox for Ken's. Here we go. Hey, hello, Gup. Look how much damage they do, by the way. She's just annihilating. Boom. Gup, spawn killed. Let's see, like, the Needle Tick doesn't even have time to proc. And Raincoat. Oh. The first lockbox item is a Raincoat. Kens finds a credit card, but doesn't want it. Wants to go fast. Doesn't have time to use that. KlowSki's on the moon. KlowSki's on the moon, and Liam is on stage 2. Look at the difference here. Oh, man, you got some work to do, Liam. Better catch up. Oh, no. I don't know how good of a chance Liam has to be able to place at this point. At 32 minutes on stage 2, if KlowSki doesn't +5, and KlowSki's at 22 minutes right now, doesn't have a pillar skip. But guess who does have a pillar skip? Zinc, who finished that Void Seed. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Zinc doesn't want the Shurikens. I think he was the only one to see the Shuriken printer. I think he said Shuriken's more like boring. But take a look at this. Wungus recycle. Oh, it was a reroll. Oh, I didn't see that in the original. So the first white void item recycle goes straight into safer spaces. And he says Shuriken's more like bad, am I right? Well, I disagree personally, but what Zinc is saying is I wouldn't necessarily think that he thinks they're bad. Right, with such a good proc chain, there's such good proc chain starters when you have Shurikens and they proc Sticky Bomb and they proc Ukulele or Molten Perforator and they are always getting that Plasma Shrimp out there. They're really nice for just adding damage. Really good at bursting down enemies on phase 2, but there's no need for them right now. Their role is way far surpassed just by Commando's M1 fire rate with 8 Needle Tick with the Sticky Bomb and all those other proc items, right? Enemies are already dying super fast, so what point is it to then print more and take like, what, 30, 40, 50 seconds of time? You gotta get 50 seconds return value. And if those Shurikens aren't giving that much, what's the point of printing them? And Zinc knows that. Zinc has a pillar skip. Zinc could probably do this Mithrix fight in the course of, what, 4 minutes? In the course, in the time it would take for him to print the Shurikens, run all the way over, print them, and leave. That's a fourth of the Mithrix fight. That's like a whole phase worth. Liam, by the way, just entered stage 3, did not see the printer. And... oh, Liam. Here, take a look at this. Gets on stage 3, right? Oh no, he sees it, but he doesn't want to ping it. Always ping printers if you see him. He's gonna miss out. Start shooting this, and right there. Look at that. Uh-oh. If Liam wasn't standing here and was standing like right here, kaboom. Now the good news is that he's far away enough. Right, but you never want to be, if you have a mired urn, don't be shooting too close towards pots, towards sulfur pods, towards these fusion cells. None of that. It will attack anything, even just stage hazards. He's going to be fortunate, and that's going to go in a good way, a good bounce for the explosion blast, and he's going to be all right. DeKlowski, by the way, who got on the moon way earlier than Zinc. Look what he's doing. Look what DeKlowski's doing. He's just doing pillars right now. He's opting for soul pillars. They can be faster. They take the least amount of time to get to out of all pillars. Yeah, that's taken time. That's not good. But Zinc gets to look at soup, gets to see what's there, sees a Shattering Justice, is gonna go for that Shattering Justice. Oh no, he rerolls and goes for another, loses both predatory instincts, and decides to take the Justice. Okay, well, it's an interesting attempt at the reroll. I don't know, maybe he was hoping he... I mean, there's so many good things you can get from the reroll. You could get maybe spare drone parts. You could get Scorpion, I guess. I mean, you already have a Shattering Justice. Head Stompers would be good, but not actually all that great, because you've already got the pillar skip, and your M1's going to do more than enough. Just going to have to do a triple bounce on this host skip attempt. 3 bounces to try and get up. There he goes. Oh, no way. It's not enough. Has to go for a 4th bounce. I've been there so many times. And DeKlowski, meanwhile, while Zinc is doing the host skip, DeKlowski is getting ready, is going to the vent, and look at that. Both going up at the same time. Who's going to make it in first? Zinc does by 1, 2, 3 seconds. And in terms of real time, well, yeah, they're neck and neck right now. It's a really close race between the two. Ken's kind of got stuck on stage 5. Was taking a little bit more time to loot each stage, and I think got a second Zai construct as a result, which is really just going to add so much time on the board. Taking a lot of curse. Yeah, look at that damage on both racers. Who has more damage between DeKlowski and Zinc? I mean, between the two of them, DeKlowski has 4 crit, has that proc chain build, right? There's the plasma shrimp, but you know what it is? Zinc has 2 focus crystals. Zinc has safer spaces. So not only is Zinc being able to get right on top of Mithrix, oh no, I'm going to get hit by my hammer and block it because I have safer spaces. Also has a drone that has Gorag's Opus. DeKlowski does not have the Gopus drone, is having to use the Opus as his own personal equipment. DeKlowski does not have 2 focus crystals, and DeKlowski does not have safer spaces. So he can, if he gets too close to Mithrix, will have to take damage. Right? Not fully taking advantage of the maximum amount of damage when you're right on top of an enemy as Commando. Having to deal with that damage fall-off, having to deal with those misses from the inaccuracy of the M1. And while this is happening, we got Ken's and we got Liam. Ken's is actually getting harassed with his Eye Construct. Right? It's down to about 50 health. 1 hit and she's dead. Liam, meanwhile, still stuck on stage 3. I wouldn't say stuck, more like just taking way too much time in a loadout. That's super duper good. Right? There's a plasma shrimp just found. Is doing really all right. And uh-oh. While Liam was getting those items and well, forgetting about the needle tick, right? Only going to be having a proc chain build without the bleed, without the needle tick quantity. Ken's over here, just got a +5. And how it happens, well, observe. No way. I've almost never seen someone die. I've almost never seen someone die to the Alpha Construct shots that come out of the Zai Construct. Those things always miss, but not that time, not in that instance. Ken's just going a little bit too slow. The Construct's getting a good aim. Using aim assist, they must be console players. Let's take a look over at DeKlowski and at Zinc. Zinc, yeah, there's just so much value from this focus crystal, so much value from that safer spaces. Not having to run away. Does get hit by the hammer, though. Things are not looking good for Zinc here. Getting hit by a shockwave again right after that. Oh, but there's the Mired Urn. Gonna be able to help out. Zinc gets rid of the Recycler. Not really a point to having it, so it gets a drone from it. And he's going to have to +5. There's no ads right now on his screen. He can just stand still right next to pizza. Not having to worry about a single thing. And done. Things at 29-30. No, there's no way DeKlowski can win this. It's over for DeKlowski. Unless Zinc somehow +5s during phase 4, but I doubt it. And DeKlowski, right? Only about, oh man, I'd say 30 seconds behind. It's going to be this last pizza. It's going to come down to this final pizza. While that happened, by the way, just an update. Liam did die to a bison on the stage 3 TP. Here comes DeKlowski. Last pizza is okay. Oh no. Exploders. Exploders. Look out for the exploders. They're going to hit you. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. DeKlowski. Someone who was so close already. Only 40 seconds behind. Didn't have a pillar skip. Didn't have the safer spaces. Didn't have the focus crystals. Didn't have the shattering justice. Didn't have the armor piercing round. Was still keeping up. But only 40 seconds behind, which was such a good achievement. And the moment, I mean, Observe. Here he is, just a few thousand health to go, but here come the damn exploders. I hate these things. As soon as they spawn in, they're already shooting at you, and during their spawn animation. And, right, not exactly vertical to them. But I guess this one was a little bit too vertical, wasn't moving horizontal to them. You never want to move in a straight, like, forward or backward line with an enemy, because, well, if you're moving forward or backward and the enemy's right here, it's going to be like, okay, I could shoot at you. And you're not going to get out of the way of the bullet. But if it's here and you're like moving either this way or that way, you're going to be okay. The problem again is, though, these things just spawned in and they were right here. So he's like, okay, well, if I move backwards, while these are right here, I'm going to be moving horizontal to them. They reposition, they shoot again. These things shoot really, really fast. And, well, the rest is history. Unfortunate. Zinc is going to be able to finish up with bonus points here. He did perform the Safer Spaces exploit on Phase 4, which means he does not... Yeah, look at this. Look at this for Zinc. If you look at the Safer Spaces bubble, he just fell, took damage. Nope, he doesn't, because Safer Spaces comes back every single frame. If you take damage... while Mithrix is taking away your Safer Spaces, if you have it get taken away, while the Safer Spaces is offline, when you get it back, it's up permanently. And that means impossible for him to die on the ship. It is GG. The only way Zinc can lose this is if he dies or runs out of time before charging the ship, which he would have to troll for that to happen. But GG to DeKlowski and to Zinc. Again, incredibly close. Incredibly close. Zinc says in chat, I swear both those spots have worked before. He's referring to his host skip. That's me, by the way. I was the one that made that skip. Or, I didn't do that specific one. I discovered the tech of kind of portal bouncing yourself. They just kind of refined it and named it after me because they're really kind. Zinc's really not happy with his time. 32 minutes on the board. But honestly, I mean, yeah, Zinc probably shouldn't be happy because DeKlowski, right, with no pillar skip. With no pillar skip at all. DeKlowski was just barely behind at 37-13, right? Where Zinc's at 32-20 and finishes off the charge. DeKlowski, yeah, 40% of ship charge. Which is like, yeah, it's literally half a minute. What a close game. What an incredible encounter these two have had in this loadout race. But DeKlowski is going to be able to deny at least one bonus point, right? From having that +5. It's going to be in a little bit of a steep slope to climb. It's not over, though. DeKlowski can make a comeback in loadout, too. And I think if there's any racer who would do such a thing, who would be able to do that, it's going to be him. But we have a second sort of race while this is going on. We have... I don't have someone standing up there. What's going on with that? There we go. We have another race. It's still not over yet. Third place is still available for these racers. Ken's could easily take it if they mess up, though, and they +5 a few times. And if Liam picks up his pace a lot, we could see Liam maybe taking it. 37-26 for DeKlowski, and 31... I can't quite tell what's going on with Zinc's screen. He's covering up the time with his cursor. I think I tell him to move it eventually, though. Then once we get a full view of that, we'll be able to put up the time to finish. I think I do all caps. It's going to be a 71. 71 what? I think it's 58. Yeah, I remember now. Because Zinc with the 3158, right? Plus 40, there you go. Okay. I can math. It is true. And we're going to see Ken's, who also has the safer spaces, by the way. Okay, Ken's is opting to just go down and avoid a wisp. Rolls last second. Good roll there. Right, didn't have to spend the safer spaces, so can take a hit here if they accidentally do. Like right there. And she's going to go ahead and ping some of the soups. Sees an alien head. Sees... what else? There was a Shattering Justice, which wouldn't be bad. I don't think you need 4 ignition tanks. It's a backup magazine. Oh, that was from the, a Monster Tooth and 2 backup mags. Okay, so that's recycler value right there. And while she's recycling and stuff, take a look over at Liam. Liam really starting to struggle there. Only down to about 300 health, or 200, my bad. I was down in double digits, borderline single digits just a moment ago. I think he'll be okay. He'll make it out. Uh-oh. Okay. I remember what happens here on Ken's screen, by the way. Uh-oh. Liam... Oh no, Liam rolled into a Spike Vanip Overlord. No! Okay, we'll talk about Ken's and what's going on with them in a second, but take a look over here at Liam again. Just dealing with an Imp Overlord that got infected by an Infestor. He's going to roll into one of the spikes there, takes the bleed damage, and let's see, how much does the Needle Tick do here? I can't tell. Did it not show the number? Oh, come on. See it again. Infested Imp. Spikes go out. He rolls into the spike. Almost rolls into 2. Wait, I can slow it down? It's really bitrate-y right now because I'm slowing it down. Yeah, I can't see it. More than 300, though. Right? And unfortunately, just going to take that +5 with him. Now stands at 4 deaths in this loadout race. But now we go back to Ken's, who took some damage. What happened there? Fell off the cliff and didn't have safer spaces up in time. Luckily had 2 opals though. And has to kill these wisps, has to kill these golems, right? You don't want the wisps standing around you when you're doing the host skip. Especially, yeah, if you got to go all the way up there. You got to go all the way up this little platform. You don't want to get shot down. There's a perfected Chimera Wisp actually approaching her location rapidly. But she's going to be able to use the Trimp of the roll to be able to get up. Now let's talk a little bit about host skip. Right, we have the time to do this. There she is. Now I'm Gamer Host. I'm the inventor of the concept of host skipping, hence the name host skip. Pretty cool, huh? You want to stand, yeah, right about there where Ken's is standing. Maybe actually a little bit further to the left. She's gonna want to kill this perfected Chimera Wisp first, though. There we go. Damage is insane. It's gonna be great on Mithrix. Right, jumped a little bit too far to the right, but makes up for it. It's going to hide underneath that little cliff side. That's a really good position if you want to be able to save a couple leaps. I think you can do it in 2 leaps with this position that Ken's is attempting. It's a lot harder to perform, and if you go too far to the left here, if you go like any further than this, you're just going to teleport back on the platform, and you're not going to have any of that momentum. You will be stationary, and you will have failed a host skip, which is not good. So Ken's is going to try and do this, right? It's getting in the spot. It's going to sprint, and actually lands it, right? Didn't go too far. Just the right amount. And she's going to go back in position. Right underneath, looking at the trunk. Sprinted too early. Was a little too far. I don't even think she was looking at the right spot. Was moving in the right direction or anything. Right. I like to personally have those little rocks while you're going down. I like to have them be in between or inside the trunk, like right here. I like that. When you first jump, you can stand like anywhere right here and do it in 3. It's a really safe strategy. Just make sure that your cursor is looking at like the 25% mark of this branch. And okay, so Ken's is currently looking a little too far to the right. But yeah, that's a sour spot, which is okay. I sour spot all the time. Sour spotting won't actually get you all the way up, but it will not end the skip. Okay, so she's going to look back down. Is, again, looking a little too far to the right, and I think she's sprinting a little too early. You want this to be, like, right here-ish. Oh, no, the sprint time was good, but, yeah, the angle was just bad for where she was looking. Uh-oh. We missed something while that happened. Look at that. Liam opened up the legendary chest and has the great, the almighty, the Nookahana's opinion, and is happy about it. I would be happy too. That's going to be some giga damage there now. $71.58 again is the time to complete. And Liam is down to about 12 minutes to finish. Ken's, meanwhile, still has about 28. So that's a good bounce for Ken's. He's going to try and get in position. Has the rocks way too far out to the right. That's fine. This is the greedy spot. There you go. That's a really good one. He's got it down. They know more than I do, I guess. Right, just one more good jump, and they're on the moon. Or Mithric's fight. Just gotta... Okay. How are they looking that time? And we're looking... That's the right, like, part. I personally like to look more downward. But I guess... Yeah, I guess they were just too far to the left. Movement-wise. Tries to sprint, yeah, that's... And just doesn't quite have the sweet spot down. And we'll see if Ken's is going to try one more time. A lot of enemies will build up. The problem with host skipping is if you end up failing it and just give up, then there's going to be like 10 or 15 minutes worth of enemies just spawning in all at once. And it's really kind of terrifying. Yeah, Ken's just saying it right there. Sprinted too early. Yeah, has the angle. That's a perfect. That is a really good one. Do that again. Was looking all the way down. Was looking at the perfect sweet spot. Ooh, even in the good spot for it. But in that situation, again, trying to use the greedy spot. The greedy spot far to the left. Underneath the ledge. You don't want to be too far forward on that ledge spot. And she gives up. We'll have to do pillars with safer spaces, which is sad. And oh no, immediately. Immediately, are you kidding me? Hold up. Has to do pillars. Perfected, right there. Perfected died. Do not stand on perfected explosion, or you instantly die. Uh-oh. Oh, no. While the perfected was dying, while the explosion hadn't yet formed, Ken's thought it was a safe spot to land right here. You've got, like... And I'm not saying shame on you for not doing this. But in order to live here, if you've gotten yourself borderline checkmated, the average human reaction time is like 200 milliseconds. Use your roll. Use your roll preemptively and just hold down this direction. You will immediately have an immediate velocity shift. You will escape. Life will be good. Nope. I think I actually might have even been too late there, just from being too close to the ground. Those explosions will get you even if you're airborne. Ken's already at 26 curse, by the way. Could +5 another time. Which is not looking good when your time to beat is 71 minutes and 58 seconds. That clock is ticking. And not only is it ticking, now, I want to say maybe there's a chance that Liam could come back. But at 61 minutes, you only got 10 minutes. And you have to do the entirety of stage 5 still. If you're in Liam's shoes. Still, a huge Nukahana skull, by the way. That did like 600 damage. Massive value. Yeah, the only way Liam would have a chance right now is if he immediately hit the TP, fully charged it, immediately left as soon as he was... he found a recycler and re-rolled the white item, the white void that's found on this stage. There's a lot of Nukahana skulls coming out of Liam. I saw like 3. I guess does he have a harvester scythe? It's usually what would do it. See like one every other second. I'm not seeing a scythe. I just see a leeching seed. Oh, it's the mired urn. Okay, you're actually getting some decent value from that. Uh-oh. Death, death, death. Doesn't die. That was a needle tick from a Greater Wisp. Which, okay, yeah, shame on me for saying death. Greater Wisps actually have really, really high damage attacks, which means their base damage actually isn't that high. They just have like 300% attacks or something like that. So if you get needle ticks by a Greater Wisp, it's actually not the end of the world. Yeah, it's not terrible value from the Kahanas. I'm not saying it's a good item. Needle tick. Okay, what was that needle tick from? What's going on with Liam? Standing at 68 minutes, right, is going to have to concede. But, oh, it's a mushroom. Yeah, mushrooms don't really... Their attacks aren't very high percent value. But again, needle tick is based on base damage. Mushrooms have very, very high base damage. Yep. The little circle that you saw on the right part of Liam's screen, that was the mushroom spore orb. The sporb. Hope I don't get demonetized for saying that word. It doesn't sound right. But as soon as that landed, the explosion radius of it, got the needle tick to land, and, well, +5. GG for Liam. It was a good attempt, but after a couple minutes here, we'll put it up just so we can have a little bit more to look at here as Ken's is just going up to the fight now. Yeah, in about 3 minutes, he's gonna have to concede. Ken's begins, says, "Wow, right? Was so ready for that host skip. Was so ready for the Mithrix fight. Ended up taking a +5. Ended up having to do pillars. Ending up attempting the host skip for a few minutes, right? Something that you're gonna want to have to practice after this. Try and just get those spots down. Try and get those just little things that you can remember. So that next time, next race, when you find yourself in a situation like this, you're just, boom, ready, there, bam. Host skip, done. Only take a minute. And that could save you big time. Now, the good news is for Ken's here. And I think Liam's actually going to take this +5 in about 2 seconds. The good news for Ken's is that despite all of that, despite having that +5, while trying to charge, or while trying to charge pillars after failing the host kit, none of it matters. Even if Ken's immediately got up into this fight, immediately fought Mithrix, immediately killed Mithrix, and ended the game, still just 3rd place, right? So maybe it might matter down the line. This is a 2 loadout race. If there's a tiebreaker between 2nd and 3rd, yeah, there's the timeout called for Liam, who just +5 to the Xi construct. He's being told to concede. I think I got a message from Liam saying, "Thank God," when I told him he could concede. Really wasn't having a fun loadout here. Really wasn't having a good time. Just missed that needle tick, or had to deal with the stage 1 cope, and put him in a bad spot early on. GG. Get him next loadout. There's still another loadout for Liam, so even with the DNF, right, still a chance for him to place, to do well. We can actually update these standings here, with DeKlowski and Zinc both being done. So we can do that. And then Zinc got 4 points from this loadout. There we go. So Ken's has 17 minutes. Right, I guess that's the one thing that does matter from that +5 and everything is you don't want a DNF. Right, DNFs are bad. Getting placements, even if it's like a 100-minute run, a 90-minute run. If you get a placement, that means... well, it's less DNFs to separate you from the other racers in terms of tie-breaking. But it also means you can get more than 1 point, right? You don't want to end up with a DNF at the end of your first loadout. It's just really heartbreaking. It makes you just kind of tilt. It makes you just not mentally 100%. You have to constantly think about, oh man, I DNF'd my first loadout. There's no way, there's 0 chance I can come back from this. I was 40 minutes slower than first place. Imagine how next loadout's going to be if they're that good, right? How are they this good? If you win, if you get a placement, in this case it's 3rd place. That's a point. Suddenly, trying to get 3 points to beat Zinc doesn't sound as impossible. Doesn't sound quite as tough of a challenge, even for trying to beat DeKlowski and get 2nd maybe next loadout. Right, doesn't seem as far-fetched with that point. Ken's has to play smart. There cannot be many +5s. I can maybe see 1 death you can get away with. 2 deaths, I don't know. Maybe. You'd have to be really fast for 2 deaths. And with all the wisps out of the way... Oh wait, no, there's still a wisp there. There's still a lot of exploders. The wisp is making some shots. But Ken's knows better. Ken's knows how to best fight a wisp. The best way you fight a wisp is you just go directly underneath it and then run in tiny little circles until it stops shooting. And then once it does that, try and find cover or something and deal with something else. Because that thing is terrifying. And you do not want to be out in the open when that orb comes out, or when the next set of machine gun rapid-fire bullets come out. Because even if you're right underneath those wisps, as soon as they get close to you, they have like that controller auto-aim. The aim assist. The wisps have aim assist, I tell you. It's just the truth of the matter. And... uh-oh. Oh, God. Gets a shockwave. Keds is dead. Yep. Getting hit by a shockwave right there. Getting stuck with that. Getting the slowed and having no armor available, you're just pretty much always dead. Unless a drone or something catches Mithrix off guard after a hammer slam like that, he's always going to go for a dash after throwing down his hammer. Unless he gets to like the 75% health threshold, which he does right there. Right, that's why we didn't see that. And, oh god. Cannot afford any more +5s. Cannot afford to die here. Hang tight. Oh, man. Oh, I'm actually seeing some ignition tank. Oh, I just realized why Ken's has 4 ignition tanks. The Molten Perforator. It's doing a ton of damage whenever it activates. Whenever Mithrix gets that burn. Oh, God. Be careful. Don't run too far away. There is an exploder. That's okay. Just do not get hit by pizza. There you go. Golem shot directly hit. Mithrix is running fast. Can't see him, but here he comes. Oh, God. Has safer spaces, thankfully. Has the opal. Okay. Okay. That was way too close. One golem shot. Oh, lost the safer space to the shockwave there. Mithrix. No. No way. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Let's take another look at that. Mithrix running. Put it at like half speed. And like dashes on top of Ken's. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do in a situation like that? Observe. I'm gonna keep it in slow-mo here. There goes Mithrix. Lands down. Bye-bye safer spaces. Ken's is running. It's running. Mithrix usually just kind of stops, but goes for like this weird, like, swipe into pizza. And then there's a +5. Man, I would have died there. 100% I would have died there. That's rough. The best shot you have of surviving that is just having safer spaces up. Oh, God, another +5. Oh, I just realized. Ken's is at 70 minutes and 22 seconds. Time to complete 71:58. I forgot. Ken's only has about a minute and a half to get through phase 4. Have to do this perfect. You got to do it fast. Treat every life like it's your last one. As well, so you don't want to die. Oh, no phase 4 skip from the Molten Perforator. They can have a small chance of landing on the ground the same frame that Mithrix dies and enters into phase 4. So Ken's has about a minute to finish this up. It's going to be a close one. Gets the Predatory Instincts back. Gets the crit back. Has movement speed. Has Needle Tick. I think Mithrix is going to die with less than a minute remaining. Oh, God, do not get hit by the orbs. Okay, it's going to be fine. There you go. As soon as Mithrix's health bar is gone, threshold to complete, it's fulfilled. Ken's is going to be able to finish this loadout no matter what, unless they concede. GG, it was a good fight. Is that 6 +5s? 6 +5s in this loadout. With such good items. Takes a bad portal, that's okay again, doesn't really matter at this point. Unless it comes down to tiebreakers, which it may. But 5 +5's more than DeKlowski. I doubt it's going to go down to time. Man. What a race. What a performance by everyone. Again, in this loadout race, we saw DeKlowski. We saw Zinc. Only within about half a minute of each other in real time. Only a 30-second difference between one of the greatest racers known within the Gauntlet community and someone who's a rising star, DeKlowski. I would say, well done, DeKlowski. You performed well, even with the worst items, right? That's something that just comes with time, though, is learning what setups are better. Zinc, in this case, knew about the focus crystals, knew about, hey, if there's a void seed, maybe I might want to go for it. But yeah, especially with having a recycler, right? If you pull out a white item, you can re-roll it. You can get some good value out of that recycler. You know, Ken's did that as well and got the saber spaces from it as well, right? 2 chances for a good white is a lot better than 1 chance. And I think there's, what, 5 different white void items? Well, you have void crit, you have Safer Spaces, you've got Needle Tick, Encrusted Key, and Weeping Fungus, right? So 2 out of 5. It's a 40% chance if you pull a white item, which is like half the time. It's like a 20% chance for Safer Spaces. And if you don't get that, then you at least have a reroll chance to get something like Polyloot, which would also be equally as insane. So, GG. I mean, there's also a few other things that happened throughout that loadout race. Oops. In the end, it just came down to finding that recycler. It came down to having those focus crystals, right? As we see on DeKlowski's screen, no focus crystal and no spaces. Ken's had it, but just didn't have the host skip down very well and took a little bit more time looting. And Zinc opted for the Shattering Justice, right? Got a soulbound when he rerolled a second Justice. Wasn't really thinking too much about it, the green items. I wonder how somebody would have done with the shurikens, though. A little bit curious about that. Well, I'll never know. GG's to these racers. A huge, really good performance. And stay tuned for next upload. It's going to come out tomorrow at the time of this posting, where we will see round 2 of these 4 competitors. Who will win? Oh, I should probably hand out the point. Should hand out the last point. That's Ken's for getting the completion. Gets 1 singular point. Till next time, take care. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like this content. Feel free to leave a comment on the part that you like the most. I don't know. All right. See ya.